It is 10:36 on Newstalk 1250 KBRF. It's now time for Chamber on the Air. Joining us now from the Fergus Falls Area Chamber of Commerce, I got Lisa Workman. How you doing, Lisa?
Hey, fabulous, Dave. So good to be here. Hard to believe it's August. I don't know. I would think after this many years on this planet, I would have figured out how long months take and when the calendar turns and all that kind of stuff. But it's August, so we've made it this far through the summer and are enjoying every minute of it. So again, welcome everyone for tuning in to Chamber on the Air. This is our opportunity for the Fergus Falls Chamber where we get to feature a handful of our chamber members, and we get to talk with folks that have been, well, today we've got some new businesses. We've got an organization here that's been for many, many years, all kinds of good stuff. So if you want to find out more information after you listen to our guest today, check out the Chamber's website at fergusfalls.com. You can also click on our events calendar there to find out some of the great happenings and details about those events that are coming up, as well as information about the businesses themselves. So check it out at fergusfalls.com. And of course, if you are a chamber member and have a short story to share, just get in touch with me and we'll get you booked for an upcoming Chamber on the Air. So today, our first guests are from Outstate Brewing, and there is beer here. So if you're listening, you just have to go to Outstate or a local retailer to pick yours up. But we have beer here. So Patrick Lundberg is here and Sean McCarty with Fergus Falls' greatest brewery on the planet.
One of them.
Yeah,
one of
them.
The greatest of the three here in Fergus Falls. Outstate Brewing Company, right on the banks of the Otter Tail River, right behind Service Food.
Beautiful location, and you guys just wrapped up a wild weekend with a street dance and then serving at the concert at the Kirkbride Park. Over 1,100 guests at that. So
it was a very wild and responsible weekend.
We were just talking about that. Yeah, wild, but yet responsible, where
That's
everybody
right.
had a good time. And
Indeed.
So we've got, you guys are the brewmasters, too.
We are the brew team at Outstate Brewing Company. We opened our doors the day before Thanksgiving 2019, right before the shutdown. But Sean joined us a year ago almost, or a year ago this month.
In August, a year ago, yep.
Okay.
Nice.
And so, Sean, tell us a little bit about your role with Outstate Brewing.
I work in the production facility. Pat and I go through beginning to end, from making the beer, fermenting the beer, packaging the beer, and getting it out the door.
And that's kind of it's not just a one-day process. Tell us a little bit about how long this process takes from concept to can. Concept to can.
Concept is a longer time. I was born back in December 29th, 1971. Now, the concept, we like to, at Outstate, we like to have beers that are very appealing to a wide range of people. So we want to make the best beers that are true to style, that are really classical in nature. Then also, with our pilot system, we have a smaller pilot system, which is 31 gallons instead of 620 gallons. On that smaller system, we brew these, what I would consider more daring,
unique,
seasonal,
different things, seasonal.
Yep.
The milkshake IPAs, the coffee ales, that kind of thing. So we sit down. Outside of the key 8 beers that we distribute, we sit down, talk about recipes that we think might be fun to try, and then we'll try them on that system. Generally speaking, though, the process itself, if we're talking ales, it's going to be a 14-day turnaround from the time we brew the beer to the time it's kind of ready to package.
You serve the beer, sure.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then for lagers, that's about 21 days.
So lagers take longer.
Yep.
Okay, I can remember that.
Indeed. And lager is the German word to store.
Oh,
so there you go.
Hey, fun fact that you didn't know unless you tuned in today.
Yeah,
little brew fact. Lager means to store. So you want to talk to us a little bit about some of the beers you brought along today, and give folks if they haven't been a craft beer drinker, like what's a good way to get started?
That's a fantastic question. Well, Sean is pulling up the Blue Northern Light. The Blue Northern Light is our lager beer. It's our light lager beer. Think of it like your Budweiser, your Coors. Sometimes craft drinkers give a hard time to those what we call macro beers, those bigger beer companies like Bud, Miller, and all those things. They say,
because people have been drinking them for years and
years. They don't
years.
taste like anything. I disagree with them. I think that those larger beer companies have really done a tremendous job in creating lager beers that are perfect every single time.
Sure.
You may not like how
And
they
consistent.
taste. Consistent, perfect every time. You may not like how they taste, but they're a quintessential example of that particular style.
Sure.
So,
And they're masters at what they do.
They're masters,
and they're doing
yeah.
exactly what they want to do.
Right.
Yep.
Just as you guys are.
right.
Yep.
But at a local scale.
There you
Yep.
go.
We're going to call it not
So
smaller.
this is the Blue Northern Light Lager. Sean, I'll let you pour yours. Get your way over there. This is where we would start for somebody who's like a,
they're used to
a
drinking-
domestic
yeah.
Budweiser, that kind of beer drinker. It's a light beer. What distinguishes our light beer from other light beers on those larger scales is that we use 100% malted barley. We don't use any adjuncts like corn, rice,
Okay.
or sugar in this particular recipe. So it's going to be like that light lager beer you're used to, but maybe with a little bit more malted barley flavor.
It's got a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried it. You
Yeah.
can't see that, but now you can. Now you know. And it
You got to make the sound. We're on the radio.
so people can imagine that. So this is a Northern Light Lager.
Yeah.
And then let's touch on a couple of these others that you've brought along that folks can try at Outstate.
Right.
And while you're kind of getting those ready, again, located right downtown Fergus Falls, behind Service Food, but a glorious destination. It's fabulous to just sit out on the patio area and enjoy the beautiful Otter Tail River. And again, while supporting a local business. I mean, you guys are local, Fergus Falls. We're brewing it here, canning it here, and then, of course, distributing it all over. Gosh, the beers are lining up. I have the best job in the world. Did I ever mention that to anyone?
In this order, so that I know what you're drinking.
And then just to let folks know, too, with Outstate, you guys have been at a number of events. We're going to be doing some chamber events there coming up, yet to be determined. Again, those will all be on the events calendar. But let's touch quickly a little bit on each of these different ones. I would start with the...
I wouldn't.
Okay,
Don't
see?
start with that one.
So that's the other thing, too, is that when you go to a locally owned craft brewery,
Yep.
the folks that are working there can guide you in how to sample them, too, and how to taste. Get a float.
Well, yeah, we train our tap staff to be able to talk beer with consumers and guests and guide them on the best way to taste different flavors in those flights, or we call them floats because they're in canoes.
Yeah.
But we generally go from the lightest to the darkest, or the lightest in alcohol to the heavier in alcohol, and the different exotic flavors will be towards the back of the tasting,
Sure.
just because you don't want to mess up your palate. So right next to the Blue Northern Light, that was the first one you tried. This is what we call the Blue Northern Light sister. It's the Pink Northern Light, and it's the same beer, but it's infused with grapefruit. So
Fruity.
it's a beautiful summer, what I like to say, crushable on the boat kind of beer.
Exactly.
And then we're going next to the Edge Catcher Double IPA. We're really proud of that one. Last year, it won top 20 in the country for beers that are over 60 IBU in the Yakima Chief Alpha King competition.
Okay.
So that's a top 20 placer nationwide.
And that's a tongue twister right there.
Yeah, it
Right.
sure
Top
is.
20 nationwide is the Edge Catcher.
Yep.
Essentially, it was the most drinkable hoppy beer.
Okay.
Was the whole contest.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
Interesting.
the last one is Grandma's Garden, which is a rhubarb
favorite.
sour. And we say Grandma grows the rhubarb, we brew the beer.
And it works great.
It does.
Works great together.
It's kind of one of those beers that I tell people a lot. I don't want to like it, but I really love it.
You can't help not.
Yeah, I can't help
well,
it.
you guys have a great selection, different things coming on tap. We could spend probably a couple hours talking about this stuff, which you guys might too, but we're
All
gonna,
the time.
We're going to take a little break, and we're going to feature some of our other chamber members, but
Perfect.
we want folks to come down to Outstate. Tell them again when you guys are open. When can they come down and visit the tap room?
Well, you can visit Tap Room 7 days a week.
Okay.
We're open 7 days a week. Best thing to do would go to outstatebrew.com to check out the calendar of events and our times. We'll be going up to the Detroit Lakes Craft Beer Tour coming up August 21st. Likely we're looking at the Vining Watermelon Days, Underwood Festival, September 3rd through the 4th, and the Center for the Arts Sunday concert series at the Kirkbride on September 19th. We'll be back there. Of course, we'll be doing our Oktoberfest with the Shimoleski Funtime Band September 24th, as well as what we call Rumble at the River, which is a professional wrestling event that's going to be October 2nd.
Fantastic.
At Outstate Brewing Company.
Lots
it's going
of-
to be a lot of fun.
Lots of great events going on there. And again, just a great chance to take your friends and family out to relax along the river. see you at events. And we're going to take a quick break. And we come back, we're going to talk about Fish and Game and Mill Street and all kinds of good stuff. So stay tuned.
It's a big weekend for us. We're really excited. It's been a lot of work, but we're excited to invite the community to join us here and share a beer. We don't call it a tap room here, we call it the Great Room, and it's a place to come and gather, and I think that's what we were able to put together.
We have the Northern Light Lager, we have a Bucket Pale Ale, an Amber Ale, the Star Island IPA, a Mango Double IPA, and then a Belgian Triple. The Northern Light is probably like for the people who like the Miller Lite, Coors Light, like Busch. That's like easy drinking, like summer beer. That's the one I always recommend to people who are not familiar with craft beer. It's kind of a good entryway to the craft beer. The Amber Ale is kind of like a breakfast beer. It's got a good malty, dark flavor to it. The Pale Ale is a classic, like bitter pale ale, not too hoppy. It's got a really balanced flavor for people who really like that hoppy flavor. The Star Island is also a very balanced IPA between the malts and the hops and everything like that. The Mango is unique. It's a very hoppy, sweet, flavorful beer that I think a lot of people really love or you hate it. There's no really in between. And then the Belgian Triple is it's a very sweet and heavy malty beer. It's like 9.2%, so it's a dangerous beer, but we poured it in a 10-ounce glass for that reason. But it's probably my favorite of the 6 because it's good, yeah.
Well, being from Fergus Falls, we wanted to be a part of the downtown culture that's here, and we also wanted to be on the riverfront. It's incredibly beautiful. We're very fortunate to have several miles of river flowing straight through the downtown area of our town, and so we set our eyes on this area. We didn't know that it would be so good. I mean, we're right here a block from the main intersection, but we also feel like we have this oasis where that busyness of downtown is kind of cut off and we have a relaxing atmosphere.
I would describe this golf course very skill level friendly. Whether you are a beginner or a skilled scratch golfer, play a lot of tournament golf, that type of thing, our golf course fits a lot of different skill levels. We offer 5 sets of tees, the forward tees ranging from around 5,300 yards up to our tournament tees, which are about just under 6,900 yards. So we have elevated terrain, rolling fairways. The greens are firm and fast. Their ball rolls very true. If the wind changes, south to north, east or west wind, the golf course totally changes, so it never gets old playing it on a daily basis.
Newstalk 1250 KBRF, and we're back on with Chamber on the Air with Lisa Workman.
Well, thanks, Dave. Yeah, we do have a great selection of beers here. And again, head on out to Outstate to check that out. And speaking of great things going on in the community, Mick Sims is joining us with Mill Street residents. And Mick, it's been a wild ride, I would say, at Mill Street over the last year and a half, but things are coming together nicely there. Give us a little kind of update on how things are at Mill Street these days.
Sure. Yeah, the last year and a half hasn't been a lot of fun.
No.
After being locked down for 6 months and kind of reopening now with this variant going around. I guess we're still open. No, we're doing fine. We came through the COVID pandemic, I think, fairly safe, and we're starting to get back into doing what we like to do as far as getting outdoors, getting involved in the community, keeping people active and not so isolated.
Right. And I think with this, we've had the nice summer weather where people have been able to get out and about and seeing friends and family. And, we get a number of staff members that stop into our office for a variety of different reasons that they're just so thrilled that they get to spend a little bit more quality time with the residents and just really appreciate the little things being a little more open now.
Mm-hmm. Just some of these activities that we took for granted, and then COVID shut things down, and we got to be really the family members that couldn't see their parents for
right.
a good part of that year, and it's so good to see the families back and being a part and people living again.
Right.
I mean, it was a tough year.
Yeah, and kudos to your staff. The team, they've brought people through this, again, serving as the family members for the many residents through Mill Street, just have done just a miraculous and amazing job being wonderful caretakers, caregivers of the residents, and, of course, with each other, too. And I'm betting that potentially there are opportunities for people to join the Mill Street team, too.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. As other employers, we have some job openings that we'd sure love to fill. I think when it comes to the folks living there, though, there's many that have been holed up in their homes for the last year and a half that I think if you came and checked us out and took a look at it, what it could be like, because we're pretty lively and vibrant, and there's things going on all day long, exercising, outings. I'm looking forward to some of these concerts in the park again.
Definitely.
That we haven't been able to attend. So, instead of being at home alone by yourself, come join us and take advantage of the services we offer. You don't have to cook for yourself anymore. No more yard work. People around, caregivers 24 hours a day.
Right. And peace of mind for the family, too, to know that they're being cared for. And I would guess that over the last year and a half, new residents coming in was maybe at a trickle. But now, do you have some openings available? Or what's a process that folks could follow if they were just thinking about it? Not necessarily making the commitment, but, just start looking at options. Where should they start?
Yeah. I mean, we're open for tours. And we're back open to one of the things we would do is, either before or after a tour, have lunch on us.
Yeah, and such good food.
Taste what the food is like and the environment.
'Cause that's important.
Yeah, so you don't have to be afraid. It's a safe environment. We've been doing the right things to keep people healthy, and we'll continue to do that. But we'd invite you to come and call and schedule an appointment or just walk in, and there'll be somebody there to show you around.
Yep. Come in for a tour, check it out, and I guarantee you'll see some of the most friendly faces that are there. Residents, your staff that's working there, it really feels like home. I mean, every time I've been out to Mill Street residents to visit, it feels like you're walking into someone's home, which you are, but it's such a homey feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so please come and check us out. Who knows, Pat? Maybe we'll even take an outing down to outstate because our folks like beer as well. So
definitely. Well, and you guys do take folks out on tours, and they don't have to drive, and so you don't have to worry about who's going to be the designated driver. If you're at Mill Street, you're in the bus, you go down there, and time to sample some beer. So
that's right.
Fun outings. And, well, of course, we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit when we're talking about fun outings. Mick, you've been part of the Fish and Game Club and planning the annual steak fry, and now joining us is Mike Rowe with the Fergus Falls Fish and Game Club. That's the hat he's wearing today. Literally the hat he's wearing today.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, so that event is coming up. That had to go on pause for the 100th anniversary, but this year is one better than 100.
Yeah, we were pretty disappointed. We had a lot of events planned for last year that would have been celebrating 100 years in existence of the Fergus Falls Fish and Game Club. The club has been ongoing since 1920, so
it's amazing. Amazing.
We are the oldest.
Kind of a sportsman's club.
Yeah, I'll call it a sportsman's club. We're a conservation club. We kind of take it beyond that. We're not a single species or anything. We're a conservation club for
Definitely.
the environment, and that's what we feel is the status quo of the Fergus Falls Fish and Game Club, that we're here for the perpetuation of the environment for our youth and our children and our children's children. And last year we had a big event. It was more of a celebration year, and we've been hosting a nice display unit out at the museum here in town.
Definitely.
And now that that's back open again, I would invite people to come out and view that, just to see a little bit of the history behind the Fergus Falls Fish and Game Club. And we're kind of moving on.
Yeah.
We're moving on. So this year as everybody may or may not know, the Fergus Falls Fish and Game Club has had an annual steak fry for the past 37 years. It's our major fundraising event for the club. We've kind of, last year, like I say, everything kind of got shut down, but this year we were still hesitant to be able, if we were going to be able to have an event like this or where we're at. So we really hesitated and postponed doing it, and we just decided kind of in the last month or so that, no, we need to do something. We need to offer opportunities for people to come out, get outside, and enjoy some camaraderie and be able to have a great steak fry supper. So
it's always one of my favorite events of the year coming out. One, it's a fabulous steak dinner. I don't have to cook or do the dishes, and sometimes I've won a prize or two too. So that's what's fun about it too, is that you're getting together with folks from the community who are interested in conservation. You don't have to be a hunter or a fisher person. Fishing, whatever.
Yep. They're just,
just come on out.
We have members that are just bird watchers and butterfly, watching the monarchs. That's been another bigger program. We sponsor a lot of youth events, everything from firearm safety to helping youth get in the outdoors, and we've taken on a new venture in the last couple of years. It's the Woody Camp that'll be for youth 13 to 15. We haven't been able to put it on the last couple of years, but hopefully next year this event, it's a week-long event for youth, like I say, 13 to 15, that will learn everything and anything to know about duck hunting and waterfowl in general and just hunting in general. So it's really going to be a great camp next year. So another thing that we do for the youth, and just hopefully, as Mick mentioned, that we're getting kind of everybody back to what our new normal may be. But,
right.
Who knows what might be ahead of us here yet too. But so it's not quite done, but hopefully everybody does the right things and we can make it better for everybody.
Well, and I think what's nice too about the Fergus Falls the Fish and Game Club's annual steak dinner is that there's plenty of seating, plenty of outdoor space. People can be outside, and plenty of room at the West Otter Tail County Fairgrounds. The dinner itself is coming up on Thursday, August 12th. Yep. It'll be at the West Otter Tail County Fairgrounds with hors d'oeuvres starting at 5 o'clock. Dinner about 6:30. Yep. The best ribeyes you will ever have, guaranteed. The best. Like, I've already got an order from my husband. He'll be at work. He's like, "Well, you got to bring me one." Like, yes, we'll order an extra one. And then you also do a kids dinner too. So just for $10, kids can get a hamburger or a hot dog. But most of the kids that I see there, they're steak eaters too.
Well, that's right. Or mom and dad will eat what they don't eat.
Exactly. So it's a great steak dinner, great camaraderie. You'll do some smaller versions of raffles and boards that folks can win some prizes. And again, many businesses who've donated to this event makes it such a successful event. In addition to that, raising the funds for doing things like the Woody Camp, for things like the fantastic display at the West Otter Tail County Fairgrounds. I hope folks, when they were at the fair last month, had a chance to check that out too. But that is a project that has been put together by the Fish and Game Club. So it's fantastic.
We've and we're going to encourage people to take a look at our conservation building again this year. We've made some additions in there that will interest a number of people, I think. But there again, back to our steak fry that's coming up, like Lisa said. on August 12th, 5 p.m. And we will have a youth meal also, hamburgers
Yep.
and hot dogs. So we encourage people. It's one of the few events we all go to different banquets. It's more moms and dads or whatever stags. But here we kind of encourage getting the kids out.
Yep, it's a whole lot of fun, and we are out of time already.
All right.
So again, check out our website, fergusfalls.com. Find more details about everything. Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Hi, I'm Ben Shire, Mayor of Fergus Falls. Some of the challenges we're facing as a community are similar to what communities across the country are facing. There's a changing retail economic model in this country that's I think, forcing communities to really look at who they are, what is their identity, what are the unique assets that they can capitalize on. And in Fergus Falls, it's our beautiful downtown, the beautiful architecture downtown, the natural beauty of the river that runs through it, and how we can drive people downtown to make sure that our businesses are successful. But a lot of people, unfortunately, don't even know that there's a river running through our community. So the number one priority, the project that we're working on in Fergus Falls right now, is a 2-block section of what is now parking lots that face their back to the river, and convert that into an amphitheater, a river market that would house farmers markets, wedding receptions, a lot of different events, a balcony to bring people to the river, and then also an interactive water feature for young people. So to really bring the beauty out of our community and just showcase that to people in order to, again, to drive people downtown to make sure that our downtown businesses are viable. Every single one of those businesses that we have on our 3 blocks of Main Street are locally owned businesses where people are invested in this community. Their kids go to the schools, they attend our churches, they support our civic organizations, and so it's incredibly important, especially in this environment nationally that we see where these national retail companies are pulling out of communities like Fergus Falls. It's all the more important that we focus on what we can do. We have the ability to determine the success of those businesses by supporting them. And they make their decisions in turn based on what's best for this community, not what's best for some corporate bottom line in New York City. So we've gone through the planning, we've done the studies, we've taken the action, we've raised money locally. So what we're asking for is we're asking for your help to help us finish this project and make our downtown as the most beautiful that it can be.